Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm going to be showing you guys a mirror match of the deck I've been testing. Well, it's not kind of a mirror match, it is Dino vs Dino, but I implemented the Dogmatika engine within my particular build. And he goes first. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, typically Dinos prefer to go second, just to like break boards and like just attack with UCT. Whereas I like the option of being able to go first or second, which is what I like, because the Dogmatika engine allows you to break boards. Look at that. Pank, and he hard drew the UCT. So I look at my hand, I'm like, the servant made it a bit better, because like without Nadir servant, I wouldn't be able to like, I guess, be as persistent as the hand without Nadir would have been, right? Because like, okay, so first off, Fossil can be any dino, right? But I have to make sure I manage my resources properly, because like he has double negate at the book and a Pank, and he has a follow up with the Miscellaneousarus, which is kind of annoying because like he can get 4 Dinos engraved because of the Rex, the OV, assuming he negates. He uses up the Dokkan negates this turn, and the Pank he uses about the tribute to pop a card, right? Or maybe the Dino he pops in hand to Pokemon stuff like that. So I have to really think about it, because I was like, okay, so this shouldn't be possible, because I have this, I have Fleur, I have a Fleur and Ecclesia, so I can chain Fleur if he tries to negate using effects, right? But the way I was thinking about it, I was like, well, Fossil Dig is gonna search Misk, right? That's like an obvious one, just to prompt the response, right? Because if he doesn't negate Misk, then my OV resolves, everything resolves, and he just basically loses. So he has to. It's like a forceful interaction, and I'm like, okay, I should be fine. I'll just bait another negate with Misk, and he just negates it with Ash. I was like, oh my god. So I was like, okay, well, let's just bait the second one, right? And I don't think it was to negate the Arco. Like the way the deck is built and constructed is like, I don't want to have that contradiction of having the ability to go first or second, you know. Whereas this way, it's a bit more consistent and a bit more resilient, because like if he has Ashes the Misk, okay, then I still have a secondary like option, which is like the Deer Servant and set punishment and pass. Because like you have like a body that can't be destroyed by monsters from the extra deck, and you get a punishment. It can either be more consistency cards, like it gets you another Ecclesia, or just pops multiple cards, which is really good. So then I go into Deer, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm free to pop with Entis. I can pop his Conductor, and I can pop his Pank, but he has a follow-up, which means because I can't summon UCT here. I can't. So I have to ensure that I can at least give myself the best possible chance to live, right? So then I set Omega to just get rid of the Misk, and I trigger Ecclesia effects, act punishment, and I just go battle phase, and I keep the Fleur in hand because I want to be able to negate something, right? Like have the position, and then he just pops it, right? And luckily he doesn't get any Dino, which is I guess the best case scenario, which is what I guess I was preparing myself for, right? So then he has no Misk engrave, he has no Dino in hand, otherwise he would have just summoned it and gotten tokens and just basically won. So then I go use effect, I take 2k, and I'm like, okay, things are looking pretty good. And then I go and try to do the same thing, just cycle it through, and then he just pops it. Oh yeah, he's playing around punishment. There we go. Yeah, he's playing around punishment. Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty clever. Yeah, that's cool. I take 1,000, and slowly but surely I'm just trying to gradually just get to this point, right? So then I go, okay, fast forward, use this effect, and once again I'm just trying to survive here. All I'm trying to do is survive, and I'm like, oh my god, which is why I love Almirage, because Almirage gives you the option to do this play. So I was like, okay, well, Garner will save me a few life points, right? And then at this point I'm like, I think I just lose now, because like, how do I not like how do I not lose this? This is like such a crazy game, right? So then luckily I was a bit scared because of the punishment, because I can target his cards, but then I was like, wait, no, start step of the battle phase, I'm gonna use Incredible so I can have my punishment be live, right? And then the smart thing he did was, that was already a heads up play, like not many people would do this as well. Like he sacrifices a bit of life points to get his Genrex off the field, right? Because that means I can't punishment, because nothing in my action I can punishment the Conductor. So then I go ahead and use the fact, take damage, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is where it all comes down. I was trying to, all this was for this particular moment, and it ended up paying off. And I was like, this go off, man. But unfortunately, I couldn't go into my extra deck, which is kind of like the bummer about the Dogmatika core book, because like, if you just ended on a Dweller here, it'd be over. Like, no doubt, it'd be over. But then I go ahead and push for damage, push him damage. So all he needs right now is an OV, and I just lose. If he has OV, I lose, because then he just searches Misk, and like it'll just be a nightmare. And he ends up causing his goofy. I can't believe I won. And all those little subtle plays that you can do are it can make all the difference, right? And prosperity, he gets that. I was like, oh my god, please don't get, please don't get Unpure Order. If you get Pure Order, I think I just lose. Look at my hand, because all needs to stop OV, and I just lose. Like what am I gonna do after that? Like what the? So then he goes and does a thing, and he has a full board. He has full board at this point. Like, I have no interaction. I mean, I'm at this point I'm banking. Okay, let's hope Talents gets me there. Cause like if Talents resolves, I can just take his UCT, and then he does this. I was like, oh my god, and he gets double UCT on board. I was like, okay, but I draw Misk. I was like, okay, regardless of what he does, the Talents is gonna resolve, but it's gonna be kind of unfortunate because like he's gonna have the barrier statue, right? So he forgets, but I was like, yeah, it's fine, go ahead. So then he goes in, and at this point, I'm like, I think I was like, wait, did I just win? Because I'm thinking like, if I go Misk, he has to negate it. He has to. There's no way he doesn't negate it, right? Like, right? Cause why? Like, why wouldn't he? Yeah? So I was like, So I'll like, just take the bait, man. Just take the bait. And I'm hoping for him to Ash here. And then I go for the Misk, prompts of response, and then Talents. Just take his Conductor. And I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? It's over. I had to prompt it right, because like, I had to make him think that, because he negated the first Misk, so it didn't resolve. And then I use Conductor to just add sequence. Like subtleties like that make the biggest difference within winning or losing a game. Like that's like as small as insignificant it might appear. Those things will make or break games at times. Like, what if I went Misk first, and then he goes negate chain? I mean, I guess it didn't really matter at this point, but like, he would have booked my guy, which you don't want. So I wanted to make sure that it protects him from the book and the negation, which is huge. So now I go ahead and go with the motions, and he ashes the thing, and I'm like, oh, it's a good game. I showed him my hand. I was like, yeah. I mean, do you want me to do all this? Yeah, I was like, it's pretty much done. I was like, oh my god, look at this. I want to have 3 conductors on board. It's gonna be so hectic. Oh my god, look at this. Look at that. It's over. That was crazy. I went second both games. Like, he had full board. But the Talents, something I've been testing, but it's a bit iffy of a card. Like, I don't know. It can be good. It's amazing when it is, and then when it's not, it's just in your hand. Like, it could have. I was like, you think to yourself like, this could have been something else. But let me go ahead and show you the deck list. Okay, so here's the deck list, right? So I've been playing with this high card count Dino build for quite over the past few weeks, right? And I've been having a lot of fun with it, because like even if you minimize the card count, the Dino problem will always consist of opening up like 2 UCTs or like multiple babies without access to Misk, or if you do have Misk, it's Ash. So I kind of wanted to filter the deck out and just spread it apart to where whatever it is I added to it would not interfere with its consistency, right? Because it'll actually help its consistency, because like, instead of opening up multiple dinos, you just open up Dogmatika cards. It's like a form of interaction while you slowly but gradually build up your hand, right? Just keep your opponent at bay. Just buy more turns to like mold your hand, which is an approach that's not really, I guess, deciphered early on when you're deck building, right? Because you're thinking like, okay, let's just do this. This is the most apparent thing. But like considering and thinking this way, it just opens up your perspective on deck building for sure. Because like a 40 card build has always been the optimal standard, but like if it makes sense, don't be afraid to go above 40. It's just, if it makes sense, it has to make sense. Otherwise, just no point in doing it. But anyway, that's basically gonna be it. The side deck is pretty straightforward. Whenever you go first, you put in the Solemns, Lances, depending on the matchup, because traps are way more impactful than hand traps are, because they actually get rid of the problem, and they're really high impact. Like, it's just you negate and destroy the card. You just remove it altogether, which is huge. Because sometimes they just want to just dark lure you, and then you just, or lightning storm you, and they have to choose what they want to deal with. Like, okay, do you want to deal with the monsters, deal with the back row? Like, what are you gonna choose? So giving them that option is kind of crucial, and it makes it puts them on tilt sometimes, and it makes like a mental warfare type of approach. And then this is I'm a bit iffy on this one, evenly matched, but it's just something, I guess. It's just a board clearer. You can put lightning storms if you want. But I felt like lightning storm is like, I know it's a bit iffy at times, but yeah, nonetheless, it's not bad. And the only one change I made from the extra deck was access code. Like, I was not playing Cerberus, and Cerberus just keeps coming way too often, especially since you main deck in Nibiru. Like, there's times where you have access to a Cerberus, and they have a token, and then you have Lost Worlds. You can just nerf Cerberus, pause the token, save the token, and then trigger and then go off from there. So it'll make it a consistency piece, which is huge. And yeah, and ever since that realization, I was like, oh, I have to play it. So I ended up cutting it out access code. I've never really made access code. Like, it never got to that point. But like, the Nightmare package always happens. It's always there, because it's just three bodies, right? So it's like, it makes sense. But that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.